China Visual.
All right, we welcome everyone who is with us this evening and want to thank God for the opportunity to be in the presence of God. हम सबका स्वागत करते हैं जो आज हमारे साथ हैं और जो इस बाइबल में शरीक हुए हैं या होने वाले हैं, सबका हम स्वागत करते हैं. And I hope you will learn certain very significant things tonight or wherever you are, what time, maybe it's morning for you. So the topic today is the Great Tribulation, Mahaklesh ka Samay. What is the Great Tribulation? What is the Great Tribulation that the Bible talks about? We will be studying that today. So the Great Tribulation, महा विपत्ति या महा क्लेश का समय बाइबल में प्रोफेसी में कई दफा उसका इस्तेमाल किया गया है, बताया गया. It has been told to us several times in the scriptures. And we as Christians, we have been taught and we have been told to pray as well as prepare for the things to come that are coming. And we are the people of expectation. We are the people of hope. And that's what the Great Tribulation and the other things teach us. Now, the Great Tribulation, जो हमें शिक्षा दी गई है, महाक्लेश की शिक्षा जिसके बारे में हमको बताया गया है, वो हमें कोई डर नहीं पैदा करना चाहिए, परंतु आशा पैदा करनी चाहिए और उसके लिए तैयारी के लिए हमें इस ग्रेट ट्रिबुलेशन या महाक्लेश के विषय में सीखने की आवश्यकता है. Now, the Great Tribulation also is linked with other two very, very important teachings in the Bible. Number one, the Great Tribulation is linked with the return of Jesus Christ, the second coming of Jesus Christ, or the parousia. And the second thing that it is linked to is with the taking the church away from this world, or sometimes people call it the rapture. When the return of Jesus Christ comes, the church will be taken away from this earth. तो महाक्लेश का समय दो जो और महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षाएं हैं बाइबल में जिसको हमें दिया गया है, उससे बहुत अधिक एक दूसरे के साथ में संबंधित हैं, जुड़ी हुई है. और पहली बात तो महाक्लेश का समय जुड़ा हुआ है प्रभु यीशु मसीह के द्वितीय आगमन से, द सेकंड कमिंग ऑफ जीसस क्राइस्ट. और दूसरी शिक्षा जिससे ये महाक्लेश का समय जुड़ा हुआ है वो है कलीसिया का उठा लिया जाना, या जिसको लोग कहते हैं रैप्चर हो जाना. तो हम सारी बातों को तो आज एक साथ नहीं देख सकते, परंतु इनमें से कुछ बातों को और खास तौर से केवल महाक्लेश के विषय में परमेश्वर के वचन में से आज हम देखना चाहेंगे कि ये क्या हमको सिखाता है. और एक जो कॉमन टीचिंग है, द कॉमन टीचिंग दैट इज गिवन टू अस, दैट मोस्ट ऑफ अस हैव लर्नड, is based on what we learned in our Sunday schools, what we have been taught, what is the message that we grew up hearing from great preachers. And that formed our basic understanding of the return of Jesus Christ and the taking away of the church, as well as the Great Tribulation. However, this is such a doctrine that we cannot be very dogmatic about all of its elements. And by not being dogmatic about it, I means that we cannot be 100% sure that what we believe and what we understand is the only correct interpretation and correct understanding of the sequence of the events and the details of the events. However, there is only one thing that we can be sure of, 100% we can be sure of, that is the return of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And any ideas, any events, any sequences associated with that be always evaluated and reinterpreted and understood in the light of many more teachers and many more understandings that we see these days. अब महाक्लेश के समय में और उसकी जो डिटेल्स हैं, उसकी जो हर एक डिटेल है, कैसे होगा, कब होगा, कितने का होगा, कहाँ कहाँ होगा, कितने साल का होगा, उसमें कौन कौन जाएगा, कौन कौन नहीं जाएगा, तो ये सारी जो डिटेल्स हैं वो हम उसके बारे में डॉगमेटिक नहीं हो सकते, अर्थात पूरी रीति से 100% निश्चित रूप से नहीं कह सकते, कोई भी नहीं कह सकता, क्योंकि उनके बारे में पूरी शिक्षा जो बाइबल में दी गई है वो स्पष्ट नहीं है, क्लियर नहीं है, परंतु उसको हम जैसा समझते हैं और जैसा हमें समझाया गया है उसके अनुसार हम विश्वास करते हैं और आगे चलते हैं। इसलिए अगर आपसे गलत कोई दूसरा कोई विरोध में खड़ा होता है या उससे गलत शिक्षा देता है या आप उसको गलत समझते हो और आप अपनी शिक्षा को सही समझते हो, तो उसके ऊपर झगड़ा नहीं करने का, क्योंकि एक बात केवल पूर्ण रूप से 100% निश्चित है, वो है कि प्रभु यीशु मसीह का आगमन इस धरती पर दोबारा होगा, और उससे पहले क्या क्या होगा और उसके बाद क्या क्या होगा, वो सारी चीजों के ऊपर हम पूरी रीति से कलीसिया के सब लोग एक साथ सहमत नहीं हो सकते, और ना आज तक हुए हैं और ना आगे तक होंगे, जब तक कि प्रभु यीशु मसीह दोबारा नहीं आ जाएंगे। So the church has not agreed on these doctrines, on these truths ever in the history of the church. And I don't think until the return of Jesus Christ, people would agree about each and every detail of the great tribulation and how it will span out, when will it happen, and all those things. First of all, what do we mean by the tribulation? The word tribulation has been translated in various ways in the Bible, in different translations of the Bible. And looking at these different words that have been given to us, they help us understand it better. क्लेश का समय, महाक्लेश का समय, इंग्लिश बाइबल में कई फ्रेजेस के द्वारा से, कई और शब्दों के द्वारा से ट्रांसलेट किया गया है। जो यूनानी भाषा का जो शब्द थिपलिस है, उसका मतलब है परेशानी, दुख और तकलीफ। There is the word tribulation as well as there is the word the great tribulation in the scriptures. Now, some people differentiate between the two. Some people say the tribulation is a common thing that everybody will experience, but some people say the great tribulation is meant only for the world, and worldly people in the church will not participate in that. Anyway, as I said, we cannot be dogmatic about this. So कुछ लोग कहते हैं क्लेश और कुछ लोग कहते हैं महाक्लेश जो है वो क्लेश से अलग है, और उसके ऊपर हम पूरी रीति से निश्चित रूप से नहीं कुछ कह सकते हैं। एक ट्रांसलेशन में इसको कहा गया है, न्यू RSV, न्यू रिवाइज्ड स्टैंडर्ड वर्जन ट्रांसलेट्स इज एज द ग्रेट ऑर्डियल, great tribulation or the great ordeal. And some translations say it is the affliction, dukh, taklif, and some say simply distress. It's a time of great distress. ये बहुत ही अधिक परेशानी, दुख, मुसीबत, तकलीफ का समय होगा, जिसके बारे में हमें इन सारे शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया गया है। Now, there will be all kinds of things that are taught that will happen during the Great Tribulation or the Tribulation period. And in the book of Revelation, if you want to note down some of these references that you can study later on and come to your own conclusion. आप जो यहाँ पर वचन बताए गए हैं और बताए जाएंगे, इनके ऊपर आप लिख सकते हैं, नोट कर सकते हैं, ताकि आप स्वयं इस शिक्षा के ऊपर अध्ययन करें और अपना निर्णय खुद लें, ताकि मैंने बताया बहुत से लोगों की अलग अलग शिक्षाएं हैं इसके ऊपर. एनीवे, चैप्टर 6 through 16 of the book of Revelation has taught us many times about the word tribulation and the great tribulation and what all will happen in that. Revelation chapter 6 and through 16. प्रकाशित वाक्य 6 अध्याय और उसके 6 अध्याय से 16 पद तक में इसके विषय में कई दफा इसके बारे में बताया गया है. प्रकाशित वाक्य में ही हमें बताया गया है कि इसका समय होगा 3.5 वर्ष तक. The book of Revelation also teaches us that this period will be a period of 3.5 years or 42 months or 1260 days. So according to the book of Revelation, and which is dependent on the book of Daniel, the period of the Great Tribulation is 3.5 years, 42 months, or 1260 days. परमेश्वर के वचन प्रकाशित वाक्य में जो दानियल की पुस्तक पर आधारित है, उसके मेरे ख्याल से दानियल के 12 अध्याय के ऊपर आधारित है, हमें यह बताया गया है कि ये जो ग्रेट ट्रिबुलेशन का टाइम है, महाक्लेश का समय है, वो 3.5 वर्ष 42 महीने या 1260 दिन तक का होगा. और जब ओनली फॉर द फ्यूचर. And we can see that this was addressed to a church that was going through sufferings, and so John's purpose was encouragement to the people in the church at Philadelphia and many other Asian churches who were going through the book of the persecution. So the प्रकाशित वाक्य की पुस्तक में जो हमें खास तौर से बताया गया है, वो ये बताया गया है कि सताव के समय, दुख के समय, परेशानी के समय हमें किस प्रकार की जिंदगी बितानी है. How should we live? How should we prepare for the coming return of Jesus Christ, rather than the exact details of everything and every sequence that would happen with that. That is the main purpose of the book of Revelation. So what you understand today by the Great Tribulation, how you interpret it, depends on how you take the book of Revelation, how you understand the book of Revelation, how you interpret the book of Revelation. And there is no single revelation, there is no single interpretation. People understand and interpret it differently. That affects how you understand the Great Tribulation. जैसे मैंने बताया था कि महाक्लेश का समय रैप्चर से संबंधित है. We just said that the second coming as well as the rapture is quite closely linked with the Great Tribulation. All right, so let's look at some of these scriptures in the Bible to understand and see what they are trying to tell us. First Thessalonians chapter 4 verses 14 through 17, and please open that scriptures and see what it's trying to say to us. First Thessalonians and chapter 4 and verses 14 to 17. For since we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so, through Jesus, God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep. For This we declare to you by a word from the Lord, that we who are alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of command, with the voice of an archangel, and with the sound of the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then, verse 17, we who are alive, who are left, will be caught up together with him in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will always be with the Lord. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. So जैसा मैंने पढ़ा अभी आपने हिंदी बाइबल में देखा होगा, पहला थिस्सलुनीकियों उसके 4 अध्याय उसके 14 आयत पद से लेकर के 17 पद तक में पौलुस कहता है, the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a cry of the command and with the archangel's call. परमेश्वर स्वयं स्वर्ग से पृथ्वी पर उतरेंगे और वो उनके साथ साथ में क्या घटना है. Jesus Christ is linked in this. प्रभु यीशु मसीह का आना और जो उस समय लोग जिंदा होंगे उनका प्रभु यीशु मसीह के साथ मिलना, इसको लोग रैप्चर के रूप में ज्यादातर समझते हैं और बयान करते हैं. Now, 1 Corinthians, Paul continues his teaching into the 1 Corinthians की पत्री उसका 15 अध्याय और उसका 51 पद से लेकर के 52 पद. The central point from the central teaching, from the focus, and begin to go into detail on the secondary things. The important thing Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 is the fact of the resurrection, that resurrection will happen. And there is no denying of that fact. How and why, we can spend all eternity in trying to find out that, but the fact remains that Paul's emphasis is that our bodies will be changed. That's what resurrection is going to do. Why? Because we need to go back to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. What happened to the body of Jesus Christ? His body was changed. His appearance changed. Earlier, he didn't fly in the air. He was not a superman. He lived like an ordinary man. But after the resurrection, there are pointers that Jesus was here, and in a moment he was there. He was in Jerusalem, as well as he was in Emmaus. He was in Galilee, and he was elsewhere. He appeared in a closed room, and he disappeared suddenly, and all those kinds of things point us to the fact that his body was glorified. He was changed. And that is what is going to happen at the return of Jesus Christ, whether it happens before or after, and the details and all that, before tribulation, after tribulation or not. I'm not looking for those details. I'm looking at I will be changed if I'm alive, and the dead people also who are alive. If I die before that, I will be changed, and my body will be changed. परमेश्वर के इस वचन में पहला कुरिन्थियों 15 अध्याय में पौलुस ने खास तौर से 51 पद से लेकर 50 पद से लेकर 52 पद तक में जो मुख्य शिक्षा हमको दी है, वो ये है कि प्रभु के आने से हमारा क्या हो जाएगा. हमारे जो मृतक शरीर वो है पुनरुत्थान होगा और हम बदल जाएंगे. वो है मुख्य चीज. कब और कैसे होगा हमें नहीं मालूम, लेकिन मुख्य बात ये होगी कि हमारा शरीर बदल जाएगा. मृतक जो अभी तक पड़े हुए हैं, मसीह में जो सो गए हैं, उनका शरीर भी बदल जाएगा और उनको एक नए प्रकार का शरीर दिया जाएगा, जैसे प्रभु यीशु मसीह का मृत्यु के पश्चात, पुनरुत्थान के पश्चात एक नया शरीर दिया गया था, जिसमें वो कहीं भी जा सकते थे, कहीं भी प्रकट हो सकते थे, कहीं भी अप्रकट हो सकते थे, कहीं भी अंदर कमरे में, लॉक कमरे में भी उनको बताई गई है. सेकंड थिंग, we need to from tribulation. The text here reads that so shall we always be with the Lord. There, instead of saying tribulation or linking it to tribulation, Paul was saying in 1 Thessalonians and chapter 4 that we shall be with the Lord. The emphasis is again is with the Lord, with the return of Jesus Christ, and our bodies will be transformed and we will be with the Lord. ये कहा गया है पहला थिस्सलुनीकियों उसके अध्याय में कि हम परमेश्वर के साथ होंगे, हम प्रभु के साथ होंगे और हमारा शरीर बदल जाएगा और हम प्रभु के साथ होंगे. Therefore, it is hard to sustain from this passage in 1 Thessalonians in chapter 4 that there is a pre-tribulation rapture of the church. As also from 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Many believe that. I am not denying that. Many people believe that this church, this meeting with the Lord will happen, or the rapture, if you may call it, this will happen pre-tribulation. प्रभु का आना और उसका कलीसिया का उठा ले जाना और मृतकों का जी उठना, ये सब ट्रिबुलेशन से, महाक्लेश से पहले हो जाएगा, ऐसा कई लोग देखते हैं. लेकिन मुझे उसके बारे में स्पष्ट रूप से पहला थिस्सलुनीकियों 4 में और पहला कुरिन्थियों उसके 15 में इस बात को नहीं मिलता है. But many people believe it. There is no problem with that. If you want to believe that, you can believe that. कुछ लोग ये विश्वास करते हैं कि पहले ही महाक्लेश से, ये पहला कुरिन्थियों 15 में और पहला थिस्सलुनीकियों 4 के मुताबिक वो कलीसिया उसमें से उठा ली जाएगी. और जो प्री ट्रिप वाले हैं वो ये सब विश्वास करते हैं और कर सकते हैं. उसमें बहुत से लोगों को कोई समस्या नहीं है. आप उनसे लड़िए मत. आपको जो विश्वास करना है कर सकते हैं. तीसरी चीज जो हम देखना चाहिए, the third thing we should see here, that the tribulation can also mean affliction. Some places in the scriptures, tribulation has been translated as persecution, affliction, ordeal. Or there are words in plural, tribulations, afflictions, persecution. So these are to happen when the church is right here on this earth. Though there are things and there are verses that this will tell us that they can happen here. ये जो शब्द है महाक्लेश, उसको केवल महाक्लेश ही नहीं, उसको सताव भी कहा गया है, उसको दुख, तकलीफ, मुसीबत भी कहा गया है, उसको बहुत ही भयंकर समय भी कहा गया है. तो वो सारी चीजें जो हैं वो कलीसिया के साथ कई बार हो चुकी हैं और कई बार लोगों ने उसको सफर किया है. सताव में सही है कलीसिया. Now some people believe that this great tribulation actually happened once, and exactly like it is described. When, you would ask. कुछ लोग विश्वास करते हैं कि ये एक बार हो चुका है. That was during the Nazi period, when the Jewish people were persecuted and severely persecuted, that they went through a great tribulation, and they went through a great tribulation for 42 months. Some people believe that. That's a historical fact. You can't deny that Jewish people suffered. Thousands of Jewish people lost their lives every day. Millions total, but thousands every day for 3.5 years. For 42 months they went through. कुछ लोग ये विश्वास करते हैं कि यहूदी लोगों का हिटलर के समय में जो सताव हुआ वो ये महाक्लेश का समय था, और उस महाक्लेश में हजारों लोगों की हत्या हुई और उन्हें बहुत तकलीफ से होकर गुजरना पड़ा इस महाक्लेश के समय में. Even if you believe that was the great tribulation that is described in the scriptures, however, there is no denying that it will not happen in the future, because many events in the past have already happened. That was their fulfillment, but there remains still the final fulfillment of the prophecies given to us. So that is yet to come, because the return of Jesus Christ is linked in the scriptures sometimes to the great tribulation, and we know for sure that the return of Jesus Christ has not yet happened. प्रभु यीशु मसीह के आगमन से और ये चीजें संबंधित की गई हैं, लेकिन कहते हैं कि प्रभु यीशु मसीह का आगमन नहीं हुआ है। हालांकि कुछ चर्चेस हैं और उनसे आपको सावधान रहना चाहिए इन दिनों में। महापरमेश्वर की जो कलीसिया है, ऐसा एक ये चाइनीज चर्च है जो इन दिनों में आकर के लोगों को ये सिखा रहा है कि प्रभु यीशु मसीह का आगमन ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, लेकिन हम ये नहीं मानते हैं। We don't believe that the return of Jesus Christ has already happened, as though Eastern lightning and the Church of the Almighty God or something like that in China, they believe in that. Okay, let's continue and see Matthew chapter 24. मत्ती उसका 24वां अध्याय की ओर हम चलें। मत्ती 24, Matthew chapter 24 and verses 9 through 14. If anybody wants to read that, that's a big chapter that you can read for yourself today or tomorrow whenever you have the time. But we will be looking at only a few verses. मत्ती 24 एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण अध्याय है। इसमें प्रभु यीशु मसीह ने खुद इसके विषय पर शिक्षा दी है कि अंतिम दिनों में क्या होगा, उसके आने के विषय में क्या होगा, जिसको आप बाद में पढ़ सकते हैं। But let's read anybody from verse 9 onwards.
Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death. And you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake.
Okay, here Jesus seems to be saying to his disciples and the Jewish people who were listening to him that they will deliver you up to tribulation. The word used there, thlipsin, in Unani, in Greek word that is used there, is the same word that is used for tribulation elsewhere. ये यीशु ने जो शब्द इस्तेमाल किया 24 अध्याय के 9 पद में मत्ती रचित सुसमाचार के, कि वो तुम्हें सताव के लिए, क्लेश के लिए उनके हाथों में सौंप देंगे, and to put you to death. महाक्लेश का समय, मृत्यु का भी समय होगा, वो तुम्हें इस क्लेश के लिए दूसरों के हाथों में, सताने वालों के हाथों में सौंप देंगे कि तुम्हें मार भी दिया जाए. There will be deaths during the time of tribulation. Now, I don't believe that Jesus was saying this, that the disciples or Christians or believers will not go through this. That's what I understand. Some people do not understand that way. This is what I understand. You're free to believe whatever you want to. But Jesus warned to his disciples. He's teaching his disciples. He's teaching through his disciples to the church that they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death. प्रभु यीशु ने खुद कहा है कि वो तुम्हें सताव के लिए और मृत्यु के लिए क्लेश में डाल देंगे. और वो क्लेश का मतलब ये है कि, इसका मतलब ये है कि कलीसिया को भी, उसके चेलों को भी इसके लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए. If Jesus meant that I will save you out of this, then why did he tell that to his disciples? I have no idea. And then this is said prior to the statement that many will fall away. Most men's love will grow cold. This gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world. Verses 10 onwards. So in verse 10, Jesus says that another sign or what will happen during the great tribulation is that many people will fall away. What does that mean? उसका मतलब है, वर्स 11 में लिखा है कि बहुत से लोग अपना विश्वास छोड़ देंगे, ठोकर खाएंगे, एक दूसरे को पकड़वाएंगे,
एक दूसरे से बैर रखेंगे।
एक दूसरे से बैर रखेंगे। ये अगर मसीहियों में नहीं होगा, कलीसिया में नहीं होगा और मसीह के चेलों में नहीं होगा, तो फिर किसके लिए प्रभु यीशु मसीह कह रहे हैं? मुझे कुछ दूसरा समझ में नहीं आता है। Why is Jesus teaching this if this is not going to happen within the so-called church that we believe? And but at the same time, the gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world. उस ट्रिबुलेशन के समय में भी preaching चलता रहेगा. Even during that tribulation time, the preaching of the gospel will increase, and people will also, when the kingdom is being preached, when the gospel is being preached, the persecution and tribulations and afflictions and all these sufferings will also increase, and they are meant for the believers. And that's why some of will fall away, some of them will be deceived, some of them will hand over their own people, they will betray, the betrayal will be there, and these are all parts of the tribulation that is mentioned in Matthew chapter 24. सो क्लेश के समय बहुत से लोग प्रचार करेंगे, परंतु प्रचार के साथ साथ ही लोग अपने ही लोगों के साथ में विद्रोह करेंगे, अपने ही लोगों के साथ में उनको पकड़वा देंगे, अपने ही लोग विश्वास से छूट जाएंगे और ये सारी चीजें चलेंगी. सो उससे कुछ लोग ये विश्वास करते हैं कि प्रभु यीशु मसीह के आने से पहले ही ये ट्रिबुलेशन का समय होगा और उसमें से कलीसिया को भी उस महाक्लेश में से जाना पड़ेगा. ओके, अगर आप उस पर विश्वास नहीं करते हैं, दैट्स ओके, इट्स ओके, आप को कोई समस्या नहीं है. और दूसरे बहुत से हजारों विश्वासी है जो ये विश्वास करते हैं कि नहीं, उससे हम बचा लिए जाएंगे. एक और आयत हम देखेंगे, यूहन्ना उसका 16 अध्याय और उसका 33 पद, जॉन्स गॉस्पेल चैप्टर 16 वर्स 33. यहाँ पर भी यीशु मसीह ने एक बहुत ही यादगार वचन कहा है. देयर इज ए मेमोरेबल statement by the Lord Jesus Christ himself in John chapter 16 and verse 34. Anybody wants to read that for us? John chapter 16 and verse 33.
I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace.
Yeah.
In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Yeah, so Jesus here says that in the world you will have tribulation. If he meant that not for the church, for me it is hard to believe. Then why would he add that be of good cheer, don't worry, don't be anxious. I have overcome the world. That means the ultimate thing is that I'm the victor, I have overcome, and you will meet with me. Amen. And then you will be with me forever, your bodies will be changed, and eternity awaits for us. That's an encouragement. But before that, Jesus says, in the world you will have tribulation. That's the same word, that affliction, ordeal, and any other thing that is mentioned in the scriptures about the great tribulation. 16 अध्याय यूहन्ना के और उसके 33 पद में प्रभु यीशु मसीह ने एक विशेष वचन दिया है. उसमें कहा है कि इस संसार में तुम्हें क्लेश होगा, लेकिन तुम चिंता मत करो, और मैंने उसके ऊपर, इस संसार के ऊपर विजय प्राप्त करी है. In this world you will have tribulation, but I am preparing a different world for you because I have overcome this world. Is there anybody else who has claimed to overcome the world? Nobody. So even though we have tribulation and suffering and persecution in this world, there is a time coming that we will enjoy Jesus's resurrection and victory over this world, and nobody else has claimed that victory over the world. एंड सो प्रभु के लोग जो हैं उस अपेक्षा में हैं कि जिसमें प्रभु ने कहा कि मैंने सारे संसार का ये बदल लिया है, जीत लिया है. इन रेवलेशन चैप्टर 7 is the another chapter that we will be looking, reference we will be looking, and with that we will close today. So there is a great tribulation that is mentioned in John's Revelation, in the book of Revelation in chapter 7 mostly. And there is, it talks about a great multitude in verse 7. And it talks about a great multitude of white robed people praising God around his throne and before the Lamb of God. And it says, these are they who have come out of the great tribulation. Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. These are the people that John has seen in his vision, who are before the throne of God, and they are praising God. And then he qualifies, he identifies these people, saying, these are those who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. This is certain that these, John talks about the believers in Jesus Christ, because they are the ones who have washed their robes and made them white, that is pure and holy, in the blood of the Lamb. They believe in the blood of the Lamb, and they have actually washed their lambs in the blood of the Lamb, and that's why they are called believers, and that's why they are there before the throne of God. But how did they reach there? They passed through a tribulation. ये जो प्रकाशित वाक्य 7 अध्याय में जो हमें बताया गया है कि जो लोग हजारों की मल्टीट्यूड वहां पर है, हजारों लोग प्रभु यीशु मसीह के नजदीक हैं, परमेश्वर के सिंहासन के सम्मुख हैं, और वो लोग परमेश्वर की आराधना और स्तुति कर रहे हैं. उनके बारे में बताया गया है कि वो लोग वो हैं जो कलीसिया के लोग हैं, जो मसीह के लोग हैं, जिन्होंने अपने को परमेश्वर के मेमने के लहू से धोकर पवित्र किया है. लेकिन वो लोग वहां पर पहुंचे कैसे? वो महाक्लेश में से होकर निकलने वाले लोग हैं. तो आउट ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड और आउट ऑफ द ट्रिबुलेशन, डज सम पीपल थिंक इट मीन्स they were removed from the tribulation. They were taken out of the tribulation. And some people believe they passed through that tribulation. It's up to you. Do you understand? I believe they passed through tribulation. They have come out of the great tribulation. They experienced tribulation. As I said, you can interpret it that they were taken out of tribulation. But the word that is used there does not support that kind, but many people believe that. Don't fight with them, that's okay. Because we cannot be dogmatic about the exact meaning of that. These are symbolic things that are mentioned to here. बहुत से लोग 7वें अध्याय के प्रकाशित वाक्य के कहते हैं कि वो ये लोग जो महाक्लेश से निकले, यानी कि उनको महाक्लेश में से होने से पहले ही उठा लिया गया था, उसमें से निकाल लिया गया था. कुछ लोग ये सोचते हैं, विश्वास करते हैं कि वो महाक्लेश में से होकर गुजरे, में से निकलकर. तो जो ट्रांसलेशन ऐसा करते हैं कि वो महाक्लेश में से उसको निकाल लिया गया, वो वास्तविक में जो यूनानी भाषा में जो शब्द इस्तेमाल किए गए हैं उसके अनुसार सही नहीं है, लेकिन वो उसमें से निकाला गया उनको. तो कई चीज़ें हैं, इसके विषय में आप और अध्ययन कर सकते हैं. And द ग्रेट ट्रिबुलेशन जो वहाँ पर लिखा है वो वही जो महाक्लेश वहाँ पर लिखा है, जो प्रकाशित वाक्य के जो पहले शब्द हैं जिनके द्वारा से वो प्रकाशित वाक्य 7वां अध्याय शुरू होता है, उसमें भी ये लिखा है. Chapter 7 of the book of Revelation says, "After this I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth, that no wind might blow on earth or sea or against any tree. Then I saw another angel ascending from the rising of the sun and the seal of the living God." And all those details are there. But the great tribulation seems to refer to what happens upon the whole earth in chapter 7 and verse 1. And the protection of believers rather than their escape during this time. So, yes, God will protect his people. They will go through tribulation according to Revelation 7, but God will protect them. Not everybody is going to die. That's not going to happen. But there will be people who will fall away. There will be people who will betray each other. There will be people who will be killed. There will be people like the Jewish people. They have suffered so much, so many times, even during the Nazi time, the Holocaust. Millions of people died. And Lord God let that happen. I don't know how and why. I can't explain. I don't understand. But that might happen even during the tribulation, that some believers might also have to lose their lives. They might be killed during the persecution and during the tribulation. But there is a hope that the revelation fills the believers with, that you will see them again standing at the throne of God, purified in the blood of the Lamb, and they will be praising God, and they will be resurrected to a life that is forever, eternity, and the others will not enjoy that life. That is the ultimate message that Revelation is giving us. All right? Okay. Now the question is, why will God allow this great tribulation? Well, why did God allow Holocaust? Can anybody have any idea? Very difficult. And so it is also very difficult to answer that. It's a very difficult question, but he's a merciful God too. On one hand, you can see that God is evil, and some people don't believe in this God who is evil, who will allow such things. On the other hand, the Bible is also full of the promises that God is a merciful God. And one of the verses says that, I think it is in Matthew, that for the sake of the elect, these tribulations period will be shortened, cut short. क्यों परमेश्वर ये इस ट्रिबुलेशन के महाक्लेश के समय को चलाएगा, कैसे करेगा, हमें नहीं मालूम उसके सवाल का पूरा जवाब, लेकिन लिखा है कि परमेश्वर के चुने हुए लोगों की वजह से, उनके कारण से इस महाक्लेश के समय को छोटा किया जाएगा और थोड़ा किया जाएगा. 42 months is the period that many people believe will be the tribulation period. कुछ लोग ये विश्वास करते हैं कि ये 42 मंथ का होगा. And before that age, the Christ will return, and then he will end this kind of persecution, this kind of suffering from this earth, and establish his kingdom over all the earth. Well, these are some of the thoughts for Great Tribulation. As I said, it's a very, very controversial topic. Christians are divided around the world as to what they believe, how, when, and all the details of it. I encourage you to read the scriptures for yourself. I encourage you to think about this, and don't think that anybody who doesn't agree with you is wrong. I could be wrong, you could be wrong, but we need to be, the bottom line is that we need to be prepared for the return of Jesus Christ, and we should wash ourselves in the holy blood of the Lamb. and prepare ourselves for eternity, because when he's returning to take his bride, only the purest will qualify to be with Jesus Christ. All right. Let me close with a marriage illustration from the Jewish tradition. Whenever Jesus taught about this second coming and the tribulation and the rapture and all those, whatever you want to call it, he was talking primarily to the Jewish people, and they understood the metaphors and the parables that he was using. In the Jewish marriage, after the engagement or the first marriage or whatever ceremony you call it, the bridegroom goes away, and then he returns unexpectedly to take his bride to consummate the marriage. But only if she is found faithful and prepared, the bridegroom takes the bride away. If she is entangled in any other things, that marriage is not consumed, the marriage doesn't happen, it is annulled, and it is cancelled, and it is no more a legal marriage. If the bride is found engaged in so many other things that is not acceptable to the bridegroom. Once he takes the bride, there follows a 7 days feast in the Jewish tradition of marriage. Not one day, not one dinner. 7 days of feasting. That's such a rejoicing time. That perfect time symbolizes eternity. When Christ comes, he will take his bride away only if she is pure and committed and holy and washed in the blood and prepared for his coming. He could come anytime, but once he does, he will take her away, and that will be the time in eternity forever, and a celebration. And that's why in the book of Revelation also there is a feast of marriage that is mentioned that will happen. That is because of the Jewish tradition. May the Lord help you with this teaching, and continue to read scriptures, and hopefully we will talk about it some other day too. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.